Hi, I'm Daniel Fisher here at Sweetwater Sound, and I am here with Jim High, who is the product specialist and sound designer at Modal Electronics. We're looking at the Cobalt family of synthesizers, the Cobalt 8, the Cobalt 8X, and the Cobalt 8M, all of them featuring the new 1.2 firmware update. So Jim, thanks for stopping by. Tell me a little bit about the essence of what the Cobalt 8 line is.
Well, the essence is it's a 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer. It's a virtual analog, but it's a little different than your average virtual analog. It's pretty unique, and it has a very cool thing going on with virtual analog algorithms. No other synth on the market currently does this.
Cool, so show me like the audio path of the oscillators through the filter to the amp to the effects.
You got it. All right, so we have two oscillators here. Think of them as oscillator engines. They're unique algorithms. We call them virtual extended analog algorithms. You can just call them synth engines. And it goes from there into a 4-pole morphable ladder filter. And then after that, of course, you have your filter envelope, your amp envelope. We got a mod envelope, so that's 380 SR envelopes. It goes into 3 different effects channels.
So cool, show me one of the basic virtual analog algorithms.
Yeah, no problem. So when you initialize a patch, you just hold this, and it's going to start with your typical sine wave right here, and it'll show you the shape. So part A and part B is basically what's going to control oscillator 1 in this. And then, of course, over here for oscillator 2, you'd have part A2 and B2.
Okay.
So when I turn A1, we're turning a sine wave, and we're kind of going through, morphing through all the major typical harmonic waveforms that you'd see on any analog synth. So sine wave to triangle to sawtooth to square, and I'll do a cycle through for you and show you. And then we go all the way up through pulse width until it pretty much disappears.
And like pretty much everything here, that can be modulated by LFOs and envelopes and aftertouch and joystick and everything.
Yep, it gets pretty crazy.
Cool, so those are waveforms you'd use in your basic virtual analog modeling. Show me some of the new algorithms that 1.2 offer.
Oh, you're gonna like these. So 1.2, we added 6 new algorithms. There's 3 amplitude modulation based ones, and then 3 FM. So you see FM saw square, that's the first of the 3 FM algorithms. Part A is basically going to increase the FM depth. So basically part B is the same pitch at the moment. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna increase the depth to close to max here, and then we're gonna crank part B up, and we're basically changing the pitch of the oscillator doing the modulating. Now what you're hearing is it's jumping to harmonic intervals, and that gives you kind of an easier time instead of just kind of blindly searching. We kind of curate them so they jump to harmonic spots, and then from there you can kind of fine tune. This is one of my favorites, an octave up, I believe. So there's a lot of room for just those finite synths of pitch to create that kind of movement, and you can see it visually represented right here. That's a little harsh example, but yeah. My favorite sweet spot for the FM algorithms is typically in the between 50 and 55. I find I'm getting a lot of really cool results with that, and then what I like to do is modulate the FM depth up and down, or have it sweep with envelopes, or have it dancing around with LFOs. It's really, really neat effect.
Cool, show me another algorithm.
Okay, let's jump over to the amplitude modulation AM saw. Now this is neat because you have white noise introduced into the path, but it's not just white noise by itself. It's kind of fluttering with the waveform, as you can see right there. Now if we introduce a little bit of the 4-pole morphable ladder filter, we can get some really great results, and really kind of grimy, well not grimy, but more like dirty, fluffy, more of the scratchier side of Cobalt. And in addition to that, you don't have to use the 4-pole filter. You can actually now crank morph all the way to the max. And what that actually does is creates another 1-pole filter. So now basically the middle of the morph range is what the max would have been in the old firmware. And so we extended that, and now if you keep cranking morph to the max, now we're in a 1-pole mode, and it's got more of a fizzier, kind of really analog quality to it. And you can crank the res on this one and just have some really cool things happen. Let's go back to saw square for FM, or here we go, saw square. What I'm going to do is set up a simple modulation with LFO1. So we're going to go into this, scroll over the mod matrix here, and you can see LFO1 is going to modulate oscillator 1A, and then I'm going to crank that depth up to max, and what we're going to be hearing is the amount of that FM getting modulated by LFO1. And then I can control the depth from LFO1 right here. I can do synced rates. So there's a lot you can do. We're actually going to be releasing some content in the coming weeks that kind of capitalizes on these new algorithms and then adds a lot of these rhythmic fluctuations. It's sounding pretty cool so far.
And those will be free from the website?
Yeah, absolutely.
So show me some of the new patches that feature these new algorithms.
Oh, sure. This one's on both sides. It's using the FM algorithms.
Very fat.
Okay, so here's one that uses the new 1-pole filter, and you get there, of course, by cranking morph up to the max. And it used to be when you crank morph to the max, you'd get to the high-pass filter. Now, midway through that morph knob is high-pass, but keep going, and now you're at a 1-pole low-pass filter. And I've noticed you can really crank the res on this one, and it just sounds phenomenal. You know, I've never been a huge fan of triangle, but when the new algorithms came along, one of them is basically an FM algorithm using a triangle, and the results I've gotten are actually really neat, and it's actually one of my favorite algorithms to use, and this one kind of shows it off. You can just get this massive low end and still get flutters of, you know, the high end, the crispy stuff, the kind of grimy stuff. Here's another preset. This one uses the amplitude modulation and the white noise as well as an FM algorithm, and then there's kind of a modulation between the mix happening. So you get this kind of dirty sawtooth combined with kind of a manipulated FM square. Why don't I show you a pad instead of, you know, all the rhythmic stuff? We'll do something a little bit more straightforward. This one's using a spread saw on oscillator 1 and the noise amplitude modulation combined with a saw on oscillator 2, and together they're kind of smooth yet gritty.
Yeah, it's smooth and gritty. So I'm thinking, what if we added one more Cobalt 8 and just had a quick little impromptu jam? You want to do that?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. Okay, so we've added one more Cobalt 8. This is the 37 key version. We did that because it fits the table. But we're basically going to just scroll through patches and jam against each other. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So thanks to Jim High for walking us through the Cobalt 8 family. My name is Daniel Fisher. If you have any further questions, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For more videos like this, click here or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.